They are the minds shaping Israel's future. Full-time professors whose research, teaching, and leadership ripple far beyond the classroom. Their ideas influence industries. Their mentorship accelerates the next generation. Their work fuels innovation with global reach. Join us as the famed Israeli screenwriter and director Maor Zaguri interviews the thinkers whose impact defines the Hebrew University Business School. This is The Scholar.
Dr. Dan Marom is a global expert in entrepreneurial finance and crowdfunding and the head of the Asper Center for Entrepreneurship at the Hebrew University Business School. He holds a PhD in finance from the CFHU, an MBA in marketing and management from the Open University, and a BS in electrical engineering from Ben-Gurion University.
Anyone, regardless of their background, regardless of their financial status, can access capital in order to make his or her idea come true.
Beyond academia, he is a successful entrepreneur and consultant, founder of a firm advising technology ventures and developing projects worldwide.
It's not only making profits, it's about remembering the history of Jerusalem and remembering the possibilities, thinking about how can you do better for the world.
Dr. Marom's research and practical leadership have made him a global voice in democratizing finance and innovation. Shalom, Dr. Dan Marom.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, first of all, I'm glad to have you here. You lead the Asper Center for Entrepreneurship, supported by the Asper family from Winnipeg. Can you tell us how this partnership came to life and what impact it's having on innovation here at the Hebrew University?
Thanks for this question. It all started with a shared vision that entrepreneurship and innovation should be widely accessible to every and each one. Whether they are entrepreneurs in East Jerusalem, whether they are students, whether they are faculty members, everyone should have access to entrepreneurship and innovation because everyone can make a change. So we started with giving inspiration and then teaching about tools and then building an ecosystem and therefore moving to creating a broad research on what can be done in innovation and entrepreneurship, locally, regionally, nationally, and even globally. And it has a very tangible impact. The vision of the Asper family made a tremendous impact both on students, on faculty members that were able to create that kind of research that pushed forward the boundaries of current research and entrepreneurship. And I'm truly, for myself, I'm truly happy to become, starting as one that got a scholarship from the Asper family 15 years ago,
Wow.
to managing this center. For me, I'm not only talking about the history, I'm looking directly at the future of this center, and I see a truly bright future for it.
Wow. It's like you're closing a circle.
Opening one.
You're opening
maybe.
a new one. Wow. So you've seen entrepreneurship in Israel and abroad. What makes the Hebrew University Business School such a unique environment for entrepreneurs and innovators compared to other business schools around the world?
I think that what's different is the fact that we understand that entrepreneurship is not only about theory. It's about putting it in practice.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like learning to swim, you can understand the philosophy of swimming.
Mm-hmm.
You can understand the movement of the water. You can understand what should be done in order to make a progress. But until you reach that pool of cold water, you can't understand what it is. So what we are trying to do at the Hebrew U is to create that pool, an environment that's friendly for students, that's friendly for the ecosystem, providing you the right tools in order to push forward, to understand what's about failure, how to pivot, how to make the ideation right,
Wow.
what to do in order to push forward your idea and to make it happen. And I think that based on experiential learning, based on learning that's based on theory, but grounding up with practice, I think that's what makes us different. And with the Asper family and with other Canadian supporters, we're building the ecosystem at the Hebrew U in order to support students to do so.
Wow.
So we have a summer camp of entrepreneurial ideas, making them an adventure to make it happen. And we're building a fund led by students in order to invest in impactful projects, and we're building all of these in order to create the number one education system that's rooted into theory, but looking forward at the practice, so that the students that going out of the business school will have the right tools, both to innovate and venture as a small business, but both doing it in a big organization, whether it's be a non-profit, for-profit, governmental one. Entrepreneurship is an essence for success in this kind of environment.
You think in Israel more than other places?
I definitely think that in Israel, we need this creativity, we need this innovative aspiration in order to make things happen, in order to make this place a better place, in order to make even a tikkun olam, even to make the world a better place.
And do you think Israelis have unique entrepreneurship tools?
I think they have the most important one, which is chutzpah, which is the ability to think boldly about what they can do, because each and every entrepreneur starts with the notion that he or she can do better, that the situation here is not perfect, and they could change it, although they don't have the right network, although they don't have the capital, although they definitely don't have the right know-how, but they have this feeling inside that they need to fix it, they need to create a better world, whether it's for their own community, whether it's for others, whether it's for emerging markets, but they can do it. And it starts with this kind of chutzpah.
Amazing. I mean, you know, connecting the values of Tikkun Olam and the value of chutzpah, which people usually would think they don't go along, but they're like against each other. You're saying they have the same goal.
They definitely have the same goal, and we have an emphasis on profit with purpose.
Wow.
It's not only making profits, it's about remembering the history of Jerusalem and remembering the possibility. So it's history and possibility toward the future, and it's thinking about how can you do better for the world. We are teaching impact venturing and impact investing. We're having a lab of such kind of things in order to give the students the right background and the right courage to make their chutzpah working in the real world.
Wow. Tshuvah tova. Your research focuses on crowdfunding, helping ideas come to life from the ground up. What first drew you to this field, and why does it still excite you today?
I feel very lucky to take a look at crowdfunding from the early days of this industry. Back in 2008, when I look at it, I felt like there's a revolution in democratizing innovation. In fact, anyone, regardless of their background, regardless of their financial status, can access capital in order to make his or her idea come true. And you can make it with the community. So it creates a linkage between capital and empathy, between financial markets and communities.
Wow.
And I still feel the same, talking about crowdfunding. Writing a few books, traveling throughout the globe, being a voice in making crowdfunding stronger, bigger, faster for everyone. I think that now, after almost 20 years of crowdfunding active in various markets, I think that we can see clearly that it emerged as an alternative to classic financial markets, and it creates possibilities for new audiences more than ever. My current book is about 20 years of crowdfunding, and most importantly, not only looking at the history, but looking at the future. How can crowdfunding in 2050 can create an everlasting change on lives of millions or even more by connecting these dots? Technology, finance, empathy, community, all of these working together in order to make a change.
Wow. You know, you said the four. Which was the four?
So we're talking about financial.
Financial.
We're talking about empathy.
Empathy.
We're talking about communities. And innovation.
And innovation.
Connect them all together into a blend, and ideas are coming to life.
Amazing, amazing. What's the immediate interest for someone who wants to join crowdfunding? What drives him actually?
It's a great question. The fact is that backers would like to play a role in someone's other dream, in the journey of making things happen, because you want to feel a part of it. You donated, backed, invested with small amount of money, but with a big heart, And now, in effect, you're taking a small, tiny part, but in a huge dream, helping to make it happen.
Wow. Fair. Sometimes, from my project, sometimes I see people that come to be extras or standbys. So it's a big project, and they're gonna stand in the background, just donating the little a centimeter, and when I ask them, they use the same answer. It's incredible.
By the way, it's the same. Think about capital is a way to transform something. It could be time, it could be an advice, it could be a network effect, it could be. So capital is just another form of it. It's just like the guy that stands behind 100 people in your project. Someone else will give 50 shekels. Someone else will give you an advice. It's creating a community around your idea.
Yeah.
And everyone plays a role in order to make it happen.
Hebrew University looks over Jerusalem, a city that embodies history, diversity, and resilience. How does being here shape your approach to entrepreneurship and to the way you teach innovation?
I think that Jerusalem, based on tradition, it's the best launchpad for innovation. Because when you look about history and you look about things that have been done here, thinking in an entrepreneurial mindset, huge projects has come to life. And I think that when you're highly correlated with history and tradition, you can make the future looks better. If you learn from it, if you back your ideas and passion from that history to make a better world. And I think that in Jerusalem, we have a very unique blend of students coming across various traditions, backgrounds, languages. They are all share the same vision of they want to make themselves better by learning, by engaging, by acting as proactive students at Hubs, at the Hebrew University Business School. And I think that our mission is to connect them with all the stakeholders in Jerusalem, because you have also a very unique ecosystem here. You have the government, you have the local institutes, you have investors, you have startups, you have multinational corporates. All of them act together. And our goal is to create that meeting place, this hub of intellectual, but not only as a think tank, but also as a do tank, in order to make things happen together.
Wow. Well, you've advised global institutes in entrepreneurial finance and worked with the private sector yourself. How do you bring that hand-on experience to the classroom?
I strive to create that meetings place, this sweet spot of theory and practice. Because I feel that if we're only playing in the game of practice, we lack the backings of a strong theory. And I feel vice versa. If we only play with theory, there's a limit to where we can go. So that sweet spot of bringing world-class founders, investors, managers into the class, whether it's themselves or by case studies or by other means, bringing them to class just alongside the two of us, negotiating with them, debating with them, thinking with them, understanding what they've done, the good and the bad. That's the place where we grow. That's the place where the magic hopefully happens.
Where they swim at the pool.
They swim together.
They swim together in the pool, yeah. As someone leading entrepreneurship at the school, how do you think Hebrew University's brand of innovation differs from that of other universities in Israel or abroad?
It's a great question. We constantly think how to be better. Not on how we differ, but how can we create that experiential learning experience for our students? How to make it better? How from year to year, from syllabus to syllabus, from semester to semester, how we can create from them a better launchpad for their career, a better launchpad for making this world a better place. So we start with the strong theory, we base on it practical courses, and we do projects-based learning activities so students can learn together. It's not only the fact that individuals can strive. In today's world, it's all about groups. It's all about teams. So we build teams inside our business school of heterogeneous backgrounds, understanding together how can they work as teams, how can they make it a success, how can they overcome all sorts of challenges, making it happen together. And I think that what maybe differs us is the fact that we are hungry to make it better and better, to learn by our mistakes, to get the right feedbacks, to integrate others internally within what we do with our students and with the community. And that's where I think we differ.
Entrepreneurship today is evolving fast, with tech startups to social ventures. What's the next big frontier you think Hebrew University students should be preparing for?
So the straightforward answer to your question is about AI.
AI.
That's the elephant in the room. But I think the story is much bigger. I think that it's technology with humanity.
Okay.
I think that the fact that our students can solve real-world problems, that they could understand the role in this world is not only about profits, to understand that they can create a vision towards something which will be better. I think that's the challenge for this domain. Of course, leveraging it with AI, understanding that you will play a role into this evolving ecosystem of AI players, that's for sure. But it's bigger than technology.
Since you've been both an entrepreneur and an academic, what's one lesson you've learned from failure, and how do you pass that lesson to the students?
It's a wonderful question, because I think that you mainly learn from failures.
Yep.
Mostly if you fail forward. Failing forward is about the fact that you can learn. So it's not a failure, it's a learning mechanism. And you kindly introduced me by the major wins. In fact, if you would introduce me by the failures, it would take you 3 times longer because I failed so much. I'm trying to learn from each of these failures, to take it forward, to think how can I make it better next time? How can I pass it forward to my students? How could they learn from other failures? There are some failures that they will do because it's inevitable. As entrepreneurs, you're very bold, you have that chutzpah, and you're going forward. Albert Einstein, that founded the Hebrew University 100 years ago, one of his famous quotes is going like that: you can't expect different results by doing the same. And I think that's what we're trying to do with our students, trying to teach them how to be better, trying to teach them how to learn from failures, actually trying to teach them how to fail forward. Because they will fail. An entrepreneur, it's not whether he or she will fail. In fact, it's how much time it will take them to rise up and start again. And that's what we're trying to do. Failing forward.
Failing forward. Well, it's been a pleasure.